Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna. Let us wait. Mataji will be joining. Just
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam Mataji.
Pranams Mataji. Prafulla Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam Mataji.
Pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranams Mataji.
Pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna. So today is 17th sloka, na? If I'm right. I put 17 only.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Pranams
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji.
Dandavat
Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you for
Hare
coming.
Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Javdhirayet Nashtaprayasya Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 17. Vijay Kumari Mataji. Go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kadachin Manoradha Bhagada Pitru Pitamahadi Asatsat Idi Swapna Nirvruddhi Lakshanam Anubhavati. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Madhumay Krishna Kant Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kadachin Manoratopagata Pitrupita Mahadi Asatsat iti Swapna Nirvrutti Lakshanam Anubhavati. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Prafulla Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kadachin Manoratha Upagata Pitru Pitamahadi Asat Sat iti Swapna Nibruti Lakshanam Anubhavati. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you. Venkat Narsimha Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Kathachan Manoradhopagata Pitrupita Mahadi Asatsaditi Swapna Nirvruti Lakshanam Anubhavati. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Anjali Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Kadachit Manoratha Upagata Pitru Pitamaha Adi Asatsat iti Swapna Nivruti Lakshanam Anubhavati. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Chitramohini Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kadachin Manoratha Upagata Pitru Pitamahadya Asat Sadati Swapna Nivrutti Lakshanam Anubhavati. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Shubha Rao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
Dandavat Pranam.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कदाचिन्मनोरथोपगता पितृपितामहाद्य सत्पदिति स्वप्ननिवृत्तिलक्षणाम् अनुभवति. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. कदाचित् मनोरथोपगता पितृपितामहादि असत्सद् इति स्वप्नानिवृत्तिलक्षणम् अनुभवति. Kadachit, sometimes Manorath Upagat, obtained by mental concoction, Pitra, the father, Pitamaha Adi, or grandfather and others. Asat, although long dead, and although no one knows that the soul has gone. Sat, again the father or grandfather has come. Iti, thus thinking, Sapna Nivritti Lakshanam, the kind of happiness found in dreams, Anubhavati, the conditioned soul feels. Translation by His Divine Grace Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sometimes a conditioned soul imagines that his father or grandfather has again come in the form of his son or grandson. In this way, he feels the happiness one sometimes feels in a dream. And the conditioned soul sometimes takes pleasure in such mental concoctions. Purport by His Divine Grace Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. For Krishna said, due to ignorance of the real existence of the Lord, the conditioned soul imagines many things. Influenced by fruitive activity to come together with his relatives, fathers, sons, and grandfathers, exactly as straws gathered together in a moving stream. In a moment, the straws are thrown everywhere and they lose contact. In conditional life, the living entity is temporarily with many other conditioned souls. They gather together as family members, and then the material affection is so strong that even after a father or grandfather passes away, one takes pleasure in thinking that they return to the family in different forms. Sometimes this may happen, but in any case, the conditioned soul likes to take pleasure in such concocted thoughts. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanjalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Savedantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Nata Kantha Namastite. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanuste Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Sometimes the conditioned soul imagines that his father or grandfather has again come back in the form of his son or grandson. In this way, he feels the happiness one sometimes feels in a dream. And the conditioned soul sometimes takes pleasure in such mental concoction. Okay. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, the Creative Impetus, chapter number 14, which is entitled as The
Forest of
Forest of Material
Of material
Enjoyment.
enjoyment.
Material
And we are
enjoyment.
reading from verse number, I'm sorry, verse number 17, where Sukdev Goswami is telling us different avenues and perspectives of enjoyment in this material world, but how each one of them is falling short of enjoyment. It's providing more distress than enjoyment. What did we study yesterday about the government? What did we study yesterday about the government?
Due to
What
heavy
did we
tax
study?
payment, conditioned soul suffers due to heavy tax payment from the government. Tax takes away all his accumulated wealth. He
Yeah, so
loses
so they compared to as carnivorous animals, right? Meat, flesh-eating animals, because they want to eat or consume the hard-earned money of the citizens in the form of taxes. They themselves don't want to pay the taxes, but anyhow, this is how the government is right now. And then we discussed that there is no happiness outside the house as well. This tax, that tax, and now the taxes are only increasing, right? Over here, Sukdev Goswami is telling us that this happens, right? Some people say that my father or grandfather has come back in the form of the son or grandson. You have heard of it? I've heard of it so many times. Have you heard of it?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji. Yes.
So this is written 5,000 years ago. So this is happening. So we are living the script of someone else. Like the script is already written and we are just living that life. So the nature, the activity, the philosophy, the thinking process of a conditioned soul is already given, and we can just match whether match that checklist of how we are thinking, how we are acting, and what we are feeling up to what we are. So are we conditioned or are we liberated? Conditioned, liberated. So this goes in the checklist of being a conditioned soul, where one is imagining that the other departed family members have returned, and then it gives them a lot of rejoice that see, Hey Krishna, this has happened. This might be true in some cases, but anyhow, it is only for that particular moment. It's not gonna last for forever, and then it disappears. So we come together as family members, friends, and then we part ways. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sing this song, right? As the straws in a river which is going down the hill, the straws, they come together. But as the river goes down the hill and splits, the straws, they get separated from each other. Like that, by the action of the fruitive activities, the conditioned soul come together in the form of family members. But with the power of the time factor, after some time, again, we're separated. So we are always in the state of misery, even though it looks like it is very giving a lot of nurturing. It can give a lot of nurturing and a lot of contribute to a lot of well-being, if it is done in the manner of progressing in Krishna consciousness. You see, Krishna consciousness is the foundation. Now, like for a tree, the foundation is the root. And if the roots are good, then the tree will be very healthy. Now, so if the root of a relationship is based on Krishna consciousness, then the relationship is very healthy and it stays for forever. That benediction is there too. It stays for forever, right? When Dhruva Maharaj was boarding the plane back to Vaikuntha or Dhruva planet, what did he ask?
He asked where is
Where
the
is
mother?
my mother?
Yes,
About
Where
mother.
is the
mother.
mother? Yeah. So where was the mother?
Mother
Where
was
was the mother?
She was also in a different plane for climbing to Vaikuntha.
Yeah, so he was asked to look on the right. So when he turned right, his mother was also boarding the plane to Vaikuntha. So they both went back. The family that prays together stays together, right? It's true. Otherwise, it's always in a very morose state. It's true. The grief is very real. You know, we imagine the grief is unreal. This is so much of irony in my little experience of meeting with people. I have seen that they think the relationship is real, but when the person dies in that relationship, then the sadness that they're feeling is not real. So they bargain that the grief is not real, but the relationship was real. This is a maya hai, abhi to usko jana tha, the person went away, so I should not feel sad. I should feel happy that it happened. Right? We hear all these things, but actually it is the opposite. The grief is real because the heart is yearning for relationships. The grief is real. Why I say that is because if you read Ramayana and if you actually read the description of Mother Sita sitting in Ashok Vatika, that how she has become very lean and thin, how she has taken out all her jewelry, how she's looking so morose. She has very long hair that are braided in a pleat, and she's sitting with her knees towards her chest and her head on her knees, and she's crying. So when Hanuman sees the lean figure and under the Ashoka tree, he recognizes that this might be Mother Sita. So it's real. You know, she is the wife of Lord Ram, who doesn't need the help of anyone to grab her or free her from the clutches of Ravan. But it is to exhibit that there is so much pain in this. That, of course, that pain is transcendental. Okay, we're not talking about Vipralamba bhav, that's Vipralamba bhav. But I'm just saying that we should not dismiss our grief because it is real. But what can we do is that we can actually increase the foundation of our relationship based on Krishna consciousness. If it is not going to be based on Krishna consciousness, it is not going to be very fulfilling. It won't reach its potential. We'll always fall short of the potential of that relation. One very saintly person said one time, which kind of struck to me. I could not give a reference from where he was quoting, but I heard it when I was in Vrindavan. He said that a conditioned soul, the relationship between conditioned souls is based on transactions. Okay, it's transactional. Okay, and that is why if the transactions are not even or they are not done properly, then the relationships don't stay. But the relationship with Krishna is based on pure service. So this is based purely on pure service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But a living entity to another living entity, to rely on another living entity without the midpoint of being in Krishna consciousness is purely transactional. Now we can think about it and apply in our relationships wherever we are going. If we have a colleague at work, they are our colleague and friend until we are at that job. It's transactional. We have a neighbor, yes, we might have closeness with the neighbor, but it is only until we are in that particular place. So it's transactional, right? So there is some sort of thing happening there. But we can spiritualize all these relationships. That's possible. It's quite possible, especially in Damodar month. Okay, so the bottom line is that one feels very comfortable in the family that they are placed in, or one is born in. One feels very comfortable in that family, and then they wait for their departed fathers or grandfathers to return in the form of their own children or grandchildren, and it brings some happiness. But the happiness is like a happiness in a dream because we are losing the bigger context of reality. Okay, and we are just getting succumbed to the concoctions. It's very difficult. This sounds very difficult to me. Does it sound difficult to you, this material life and all these things, intricate section of all these, different kinds of concoction is very difficult. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Mataji.
It's very
Mataji,
difficult.
actually, how the pain you are feeling is not is real, but the happiness you are feeling is not real. Really, it's confusing.
So
Hare
the
Krishna.
happiness can be real if it is coming from the platform of serving, not transactional. Right?
Okay.
So, yeah. So we don't, yeah, I think it can be confusing because material life is confusing. I agree. Very confusing. What is real, what is not real. That is why we need a guru. That is why we need the devotee association to tell us what is happening with our lives. Am I going in the right direction, or am I digressing from the main path? Okay. There's nothing said that you don't have relationships, don't have friends, don't have family, don't have children. It's not written like that. Okay. It is the definition of a conditioned soul. We can have all that and yet not be conditioned, you see. We can have all that. But the bottom line is don't have it in a conditioned state. Have it in a state where it is based on unconditional love to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then there is no deficiency of respect for each other. Then there is no deficiency of care for each other. There's no deficiency of high value environment in the house, morality for in the children. There's no deficiency of all those things because there is Krishna. And I have seen such families. There's one family in New York. They're from India, but they're so they're so nice. I've seen wonders happening in this family. I've really seen it. Like such a huge family, and the children are so amazing. And the little girl, she grew up in front of me. Now she's married, so many years here. She's so amazing. She's born in America. She's becoming a doctor. She's becoming a neurologist. She's studying in New York, and she's married to this amazing devotee from London. And Vrinda is so nice. if you see her, I think the children in India will feel shy in front of Vrinda if she goes, because she's so cultured, so valued. And she learned all this from her mom and dad and grandparents in the house. So it actually gives us a lot of encouragement to bring Krishna consciousness in the lives of people. And I'll tell you one more thing, that the families, I went to one temple one time and I saw the family, the father and mother had given such nice Krishna conscious values to their children, being born in America, that actually the little girl had the project in 11th grade, some science project, and she made the project based on planetary system arrangements from Srimad Bhagavatam. She did that. She made that whole thing. I saw. So it was really nice. So it's actually fun to be in Krishna consciousness and to have a family like that. Everybody is taken care of. The departed family members are taken care of. The present family members are taken care of. And the future generation of children are also taken care of. Okay, so there's a lot of optimism. Questions, reflections, realizations, corrections, complaints. Any questions, reflections, corrections?
Hare Krishna Mataji. It is true,
Prafulla.
Mataji. You
Hare
told
Krishna.
like Krishna consciousness is the foundation, and the relation in this material world is full of transaction. And the family
Yeah.
members, in the family members, that's the duty of fathers and mothers, parents, grandparents. If they are Krishna consciousness and if they are serious about their children, then that upbringing, that culture, we can give them. Mostly it starts from homeschooling. If you try, Mataji, it is very effective. It gets so much. I appreciate about Brinda Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Chapter 13. We looked at so many verses. The first 19 verses of chapter 13 is actually an allegorical story of Jad Bharata. And then the present chapter of 14, first 41 verses, actually are explanation of all these 19 verses.
Wow.
So it's such a fascinating thing I learned. And seventh verse of last chapter tells that sometimes he imagines a palatial city, he enters with his family, enjoys the time there, and gets fully satisfied. This is being explained here by Sukadeva Goswami, that sometimes in a dream that his dead father or grandfather has come back, and that's how he feels happy. So all the allegorical thing that has been explained in 19 verses of the last chapter are being explained in 41 verses by Sukadeva Goswami in detail.
Very nice. Yes. I saw that in the Subodhini, right? You're speaking in Subodhini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. But it's very nice. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. And Prakasha this, Prabhu. Any other question, reflection, realization, correction, or we go to our favorite Damodar Leela? Okay, I'm going to Damodar Leela. What did we finish yesterday? Krishna was caught by Mother Yashoda. Her right hand held his right wrist. Yes, and she was hiding the stick behind her back in her left hand. Right? Yeah, that's where we were. Now today, this is verse number 11, that Krishna reprimands her son. Yashoda reprimands her son Krishna. So Yashoda has caught Krishna now, right? So she, everyone is like waiting. Everyone is waiting that what is going to be the next chapter of this script. Is Krishna going to run away? Is Krishna going to apologize? Is Krishna going to surrender? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? you know, because the mother and son were now out on the ground of the palace, the monkeys and birds can no longer watch them. So they actually had to change their position and come to the courtyard and align themselves in such a manner that both of them were quite visible to monkeys and the birds. And Krishna, now Mother Yashoda is holding Krishna's hand, right? Krishna's wrist. Now Krishna is trying his best to free himself. So he's testing the grip of his mother, and Mother Yashoda is not giving in. So Krishna is like trying to, you know how small children do, trying to like, you know, get himself free, but Mother Yashoda is very, very strict this time. She's not giving in. So she's testing his mother's grasp. So what happens is that, as the little children will do, because he's now been caught, and because Mother Yashoda has an evidence that Krishna did indeed do the crime that he did, so he is very concerned that what kind of punishment is now awaiting him. So Mother Yashoda now brings the stick from her bag in front of him. And when Krishna sees the stick, Krishna is like completely shocked that my mother, like, she cheated me. She had the stick. She told me she had dropped the stick, but she has the stick. And Mother Yashoda is like, be quiet. If you are the chief of all the monkey mongers here, and what a havoc you have done. So to catch you, whatever I have to do, I have to do. Like if the thief has to be caught, you cannot tell lawmakers that why did you make some plays. Okay, so and then she actually flips the stick in the air like whoosh. So she's actually telling Krishna that if you now is this time try to run away again, you're gonna have to bear the consequences with this stick. So Krishna is now very scared. So he was scared, he's confused, he's agitated, but in his heart of heart, he's full of compassion at the effort of his mother, and he's relishing the love that his mother has for him, and with that determination he has caught her. But then he comes back and he's like, okay, I'm a little boy and my mother is going to beat me up with the stick. So to save himself, he starts to cry. And when he's crying, poor Krishna, he's there, mother and son are standing on the lanes of Raj now, right? They're outside. And then slowly, the Krishna's crying is inviting the other Vrajavasis' attention. So they all are coming now, slowly. And seeing that, Krishna feels really embarrassed because some of his friends are coming too. And Krishna holds a very respectable position in his friends group. You know, he's the leader of his friends group. Now his friends are going to mock him because now he's been caught by his mother because of his mischief, and he is going to be beaten up by the stick, or God knows what else is going to happen. So as a little boy, he thinks in his heart, where can I hide? So he tries to hide himself in the pleats of the sari of his mother, but then mother is not giving it. She's just not, giving him the shelter. Then what happens? That he starts to cry and sob even more loudly. Very, very loudly. So much so that all the kajal in his eyes is like pouring down his cheek to his chest, to his belly, and is making like a puddle of tears around him. So much so that actually the water from the pond is also coming. And Mother Yashoda like looks at it and says, where is this puddle coming from? Where are the water coming from? Now the Yogamaya, there are three people in it, right? Krishna, Yashoda, and Yogamaya. Yogamaya thinks that this puddle of water or tears from Krishna's eyes is actually going to hamper this pastime. So she moderates Krishna's crying. She tells Krishna, cry moderately, don't cry so much. And then she makes this puddle of water from Krishna's lotus feet disappear. So Mata Yashoda looks down. A moment ago, there was a puddle of water, and now there is no puddle of water. She's like, was there a puddle of water? Was there not a puddle of water? But then she's like, okay, but I have a bigger agenda in my hand. I have to reprimand this boy here. Who knows if there was a puddle of water? Maybe it was just my imagination. So now Krishna is crying in moderation because of keeping the sanity of this pastime and not being attracted by anything else. Now Krishna is actually, when his hand is held by Mata Yashoda, with his free hand, he is trying to wipe his tears and also wipe the yogurt off his body. And when he's crying, he thinks his crying is going to melt his mother's heart, and she will talk to him in a very polite voice. But Mother Yashoda's heart just still, she does go through her heart. The thought goes through her heart that my child is crying, and he's so young, and today's festival. But then, her maternal affection, that I have to reprimand this kid. He has crossed all the boundaries today. She does not give in. So Krishna's all attempts to make his mother's heart melt for him, to gain sympathy from his mother, are going totally futile. Totally futile. So, see, he's very worried that the mother is going to hit him with a horrible stick. But then, Mother Yashoda is no stranger to Krishna's antics. She does not give away. She says, enough is enough. Now he has to take the responsibility for all the errand that he has done and all the ransack that he has made all over the house. And I am going to teach him a lesson. So Krishna is crying. Mother Yashoda is showing the stick. She's